If 12 rounds, Crawford win, I think.
Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, what do you think about that fight if they did fight? Looks like it's up for September.
Good fight. You know, if 168 pounds, I think it's Canelo, but it's Canelo better technique because 50-50. If 12 rounds, Crawford win, I think. If knockout, it's Canelo.
What makes Crawford so difficult to fight against?
He has power, smart, in more practical.
He has more experience. He's very experienced.
When talk of Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford first came up, most saw Canelo as the clear favorite since he was proven at higher weights, while Crawford was just moving up. But training footage changed the view. Crawford looked stronger, faster, and well-adjusted, showing he could carry his skills into a bigger division. It was a reminder of how quickly opinions in boxing can shift once real preparation is seen.
Grounds to stand on. Now, the other second point that I think is becoming a fact is this. This fight was initially kind of a one-sided credited fight where if Terence Crawford beats Saul Canelo Alvarez, he's on a Mount Rushmore. If Saul Canelo Alvarez beats Bud Crawford, it's kind of like, of course. But now the Bud Buddies has gone across all of social media and attacked social media so impactfully, like a plague, that now it's starting to give more value if Saul Canelo Alvarez wins. And let me tell you what I mean. You cannot tell everybody they're haters and they're stupid for thinking Canelo wins and say, hey, y'all gonna find out come September 13th how great Bud Crawford is. And you speak Crawford up, you know, you say, yeah, you said the same thing about Spence and Crawford that beat all these. Ah! You just don't know. You know, you have all these all-time great fighters saying that Crawford wins. So come September 14th, if Saul Canelo Alvarez has beaten Crawford or destroyed him, you can't take it back now. You're going to have to be like, Saul Canelo Alvarez is on Mount Rushmore, right? I mean, you can't go this heavy all over social media and in which social media controls media. So it's everything. You can't flood social media like this and just wave after wave talk about how Bud is going to whoop Canelo and forget boots and all the preparation, all that stuff. And then if Canelo wins, you don't have the same energy.
Raleigh Romero voices the skeptics who argue that weight can't be ignored. He stresses that divisions exist to ensure fairness and protect fighters from dangerous size mismatches. In his view, Crawford, no matter how skilled, is taking a huge risk by moving up so far. History shows many fighters who climbed too high in weight paid the price against naturally bigger opponents. For Romero, Crawford's dominance at 147 doesn't guarantee the same success at 168, especially against Canelo, who has ruled the super middleweight division for years.
We got Canelo, we got Terence Crawford. That's going to happen in the fall. It's going to happen here in Sin City, your hometown. How do you feel about that matchup?
Anyone that thinks Crawford has a chance is a complete idiot. They have weight classes for a reason.
Too big? Too skilled?
Way too big, way too skilled. And it's not, this isn't a skill matchup. It has nothing to do with skill. It has to do with...
Bernard Hopkins, a legend known for his intelligence and longevity, shocked many by giving Crawford an 85% chance against Canelo. He points to Crawford's patience, adaptability, and tactical awareness as key weapons that could frustrate Canelo's counters and pressure. Hopkins believes Crawford's ability to adjust mid-fight and switch stances seamlessly makes him uniquely dangerous, and he knows from experience that physical disadvantages can be overcome with discipline and strategy. By assigning such odds, Hopkins frames the fight as less an uphill battle and more of an opportunity for Crawford to redefine greatness. In contrast, David Benavidez offers a grounded perspective, siding with Canelo due to the natural size difference. which he views as a deciding factor.
Does he win? Can he beat him? Can he beat Canelo? Is his skill so much that he's able to bridge the weight classes?
He has a legitimate chance. Over 60% for his mind. If you say, Bernard, give me a number.
Give me a number.
He has an 85+ chance to beat Canelo. Why? He's not going in there to prove something, which will fall into Canelo's hand. He would love for him to prove something. That means you will stay there and try to prove something. But to go in there and to let him know, establish that from the first round, that I belong without showing that I am tough. I earned my position to be here. And I want to show you, even though you're being stubborn, that your time not only have came, but it's gone. He ain't going to surrender and say, I slowed up, so I'm going to act like it. No, he has to be shown. And it has to be early.
Benavidez emphasizes that Canelo has spent his career competing at higher weights, becoming fully accustomed to the strength and challenges at 168. Crawford, on the other hand, is stepping into unfamiliar territory. For Benavidez, the gap between a natural super middleweight and a welterweight moving up several classes is simply too wide. He doesn't dismiss Crawford's talent, but stresses that comfort and experience at an elite level matter greatly. In his view, Canelo's long-term familiarity with these weight ranges gives him an advantage Crawford cannot match.
David Benavidez is choosing Canelo Alvarez to win over Terence Crawford. With that said, David Benavidez has finally given a straight and probably his final prediction for this fight, with him choosing Canelo Alvarez. Now, Benavidez, however, made it perfectly clear that despite him choosing Canelo Alvarez over Terence Crawford, this doesn't necessarily mean that he's actually rooting or backing up Canelo Alvarez. In an interview posted on the Rob's World of Boxing YouTube channel, David Benavidez explained that Terence Crawford, who's pretty much jumping 3 weight divisions in comparison to Canelo, who Benavidez views as a natural super middleweight, will be this fight's biggest deciding factor. Once again, Benavidez clarified that he's not saying that he wants Canelo to win. However, given the circumstances, his prediction is fueled by the weight division argument and not by his emotional or personal views regarding Canelo or Terence Crawford.
Tim Bradley views the matchup from a different angle, calling Crawford a superior technician capable of outthinking and outmaneuvering Canelo. He highlights Crawford's ability to adjust mid-fight, a skill that has fueled his dominance across divisions. In Bradley's eyes, Canelo's slower pace and reliance on timing leave him vulnerable to Crawford's versatility. Confident in his stance, Bradley predicts that Crawford's ring IQ and precision will overwhelm Canelo, framing his belief not as speculation, but as a conclusion drawn from Crawford's proven adaptability and consistent dominance.
Yo, real quick, just got done. I woke up 3 a.m. I don't know, someone told me to study Canelo, study Crawford. Crawford about to beat the shit out of Canelo Alvarez. I'm letting y'all know right now, he about to beat the brakes off of Canelo Alvarez. Yes, he is.
Brian Bomac McIntyre, Crawford's longtime trainer, downplays concerns about size, noting that Canelo is more compact than other super middleweights and relies on strength and technique rather than sheer size. Drawing from first-hand experience with Crawford's conditioning and preparation, Bomac insists his fighter has the tools to handle Canelo, backing his confidence with years of proven success against doubts.
Walk around big any goddamn way.
Right. Yeah. Now, Canelo is the bigger guy, right? But
he ain't the bigger guy.
That's what they say. They say he's wider, he's got more mass. How are you feeling about Bud going in there taking on Canelo's power?
Shit. I don't give a fuck about that power. Well, how you beat power?
Speed.
You said what?
Speed.
And what else?
IQ.
Timing.
That's why you're the coach and I'm not.
I mean, you make some good, you got some good answers, but that power ain't gonna be able to sustain throughout the fight. Watch. And he usually slows down between 6 and 7. You slow down, that's a fucking wrap.
Renowned trainer Robert Garcia sided with Crawford, stressing skill over size. He cites history where superior technique beat physical advantages and sees Crawford as the kind of fighter who defies convention. While acknowledging size matters, Garcia insists greatness comes from execution, praising Crawford's patience, ring control, and timing as the keys to beating Canelo. For him, boxing is as much about intelligence as it is about dimensions.
What are your thoughts on Canelo versus Crawford? Highly anticipated fight, quickly approaching.
I know a lot of people are not very excited about that fight, and they think the size difference, huge difference. But Crawford's big, man. Crawford's a very strong fighter. He's a very smart fighter also. So look, the way Canelo's been fighting his last couple of fights, where he's just looking for one punch at a time and maybe not doing enough to hurt his opponents, maybe not doing enough to finish them off. I could see Crawford pulling it off.
Decision?
I think Crawford could pull off a decision because he's fast, he's smart, and he doesn't need to run. He could stay around Canelo and just pretty much focus on winning a decision. Because I don't think he could knock out Canelo, but he could definitely win a decision.
Marcus Brown notes that Crawford often spars with bigger fighters, even heavyweights, to test his resilience and sharpen his reflexes. He argues this prepares Crawford for Canelo's power, giving him both the physical tolerance and mental composure needed to handle the challenge of moving up in weight.
Just two more questions for you, man. Just would love to get your thoughts on, we got the mega fight, the big fight, Crawford, Canelo. Crawford said forget all that, catch weight and anything like that. You're going straight up to 168. What do you think about that? How much of a chance do you give him? Or who do you favor in that fight?
I got love for both of them. I like both of them. I'm a fan of both of them, but I'm going with Crawford. Typically fighters, they don't want to say who they want to go for because they don't want to be biased.
Yeah.
And much respect to Canelo, but I'm going Bud.
Is there a particular reason why? Like, you're a guy that's moved up in weight, so you know exactly what it feels like to get hit by these bigger guys. Is that something that's going to play in the back of his head? Like,
of course,
gotta watch out.
It is, but it's not, because at the end of the day, it's not like he just got in there with somebody bigger than him. He's always probably been sparring with bigger guys. You know what I'm saying? It's that boxing IQ, which William Skull didn't put up no fight, but he showed somewhat of a blueprint to get this guy, in a space where he's confused.
Yeah.
And he can't touch his target that's in front of him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I just think Bud got that IQ.
Is that the same thing that you do in your fights? Because, like you said, your last fight was in 2023. That was your first time moving up. Obviously, you beat the guy pretty easily. But is that something where you just like, I know I can beat this guy, I know I got the skills, but yeah, he's a little bit of a bigger guy than me. I gotta,
Right, because this sport is about, hitting and not getting hit, swimming without getting wet, and taking the least amount of punishment. So, you gotta just, be smart and crafty in it.
Just last one for you, and I know you said you gotta be smart, crafty, and things like that, but I know you're also like a really prideful guy. Like I know a couple people that know you in Staten Island, and they always tell me, Mark's is a cool guy, a real prideful guy, never wants to lose at anything. You pick it, motherfucker want to win at the
I hate losing more than I love winning.
Errol Spence Jr. acknowledges Crawford's power, but believes Canelo's body shots will be the difference. He notes how Canelo's relentless body attack has broken down elite opponents. And while Crawford can punch, Spence doubts it will be enough to stop Canelo's steady pressure. Having felt Crawford's power himself, Spence respects it, but still predicts Canelo wins by wearing him down before the final bell.
What is his prediction for the fight? So he finally gives it, and it is the following. He said that Terence Crawford's power is real, and he's felt his power is real, but those body shots from Canelo Alvarez are different. And he said he expects Terence Crawford to get knocked out somewhere around the 10th or the 11th round. Doesn't see it going the distance. And as a result, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people think that Errol Spence Jr. is just hating. And I got to tell you, if he was just hating, he would have the right to do it. Why is that? Because that is exactly what Terence Crawford has been doing to him ever since that fight got done. Terence Crawford was asked who his best wins were, and he didn't mention Errol Spence Jr. He mentioned Victor Postol. So I guess, hey man, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So Errol is not holding back his opinion on the fight and says Canelo's going to knock out Terence Crawford. Now let's look at it for a second and think, is that a realistic prediction? Well, it is. Just like many people picked Terence Crawford to beat Errol Spence Jr. and the entire time that they said that, I was like, yep, he could absolutely get that done. I take Errol in that fight, but I would not be surprised. I'm not writing out that Terence Crawford could win that fight.
Bradley strengthens his case by pointing to Canelo's recent struggles, noting how William Skull went the distance and exposed flaws. If Skull could limit Canelo's offense, Bradley argues, then a pound-for-pound great like Crawford has an even better chance. To him, Crawford's universally recognized dominance proves he has the tools to shatter the aura of Canelo's invincibility.
On Bradley, man, y'all better stop with all the misconception. Stop with all the misconception about this Crawford Canelo. Man, I'm here to tell y'all, Crawford ain't getting knocked out. He ain't getting knocked out. Look, where the evidence is supporting that? Where is the evidence supporting that? Just because y'all think he light in the ass, that y'all think that's just it? Man, y'all better do y'all research, man. Do your research. Come with some evidence. I'm about to let y'all know right now. Shit, just pay attention. If Skull, right, can hold Canelo to 152 punches thrown in an entire 12-round fight, 152 punches. You don't think Crawford can? You don't think Crawford can? You don't think Crawford can go the distance with Canelo Alvarez? If William Skull can go 12 rounds with him and keep him at an all-time low, 152 punches a round? Oh my goodness. If Charlo, 154-pounder, can go up to 168 pounds. Respect Charlo's skills, but he ain't got Crawford's skills. If he can go 12 rounds with Canelo Alvarez, you don't think Crawford can go 12 rounds with him?
Crawford's move up in weight is about more than ambition. It's about legacy. Few fighters have ever jumped from welterweight to super middleweight in pursuit of undisputed glory. His preparation has been precise, with training and nutrition designed to add strength without sacrificing speed or sharpness. For Crawford, this challenge isn't just about silencing doubters. It's about making history and joining the rare greats who dare to push beyond limits.
Around at these big weights. But the fact is, his fight night weight was 169 let's just call it 170 pounds, which is huge. Absolutely huge for a 154 pounder. Especially, it's just shocked me that he's come up from 135 and now he's still putting on that much weight. He's rehydrating that much at 154. And indeed, to bring us even closer to the modern day, the thing that was posted, and again, this is the second time we've seen this, is why I'm kind of thinking there's a bit of a theme here with Crawford posting his weight when he's not actually in full training camp. On February the 9th, 2025, he posted an Instagram story and he showed himself weighing 186 pounds on a gym scale. Now, that's so much bigger than I imagined Crawford would be. I never thought this guy would walk around 186 pounds. Which for anyone who needs the conversion is just over 84 kilograms. And now look, it's not an unthinkable weight for someone, but for someone who has fought as low as Crawford has, who is generally as lean and as in shape as Crawford is, that's a lot.